Hello, everybody. My name is Brian Hart. I'm the Executive Director of the Esselstyn Foundation. And today we decided to do a cooking demo that we thought would be very helpful for those of you, and I'm assuming this is most of you, who are active, who are on the run during the summer, who are out the door. You need to grab something quickly. You need to put a few things together just to fuel you for what we call the long haul. Just staying jacked up
on good plant-based food. That's good.
Good plant-based food, I guess. I don't want it to
your
sound
long
like...
haul. No, your long haul. Your long haul can be anything. Sometimes a long haul for me, I was like, I'm going to drive to pick up the kids at college or drop them off, and I want to have, it's 8 hours of driving, so I want to have food that's going to keep me going and keep me interested.
And I'm thinking about hiking. Like if I'm going to go for a hike with the dog for a few hours, I want to maybe have a few things in my backpack or in my fanny pack, something to bring along. But also, you know, what am I going to eat beforehand? What's something I'll bring along in a cooler bag that once I finish a hike, I'll be able to wolf down on the way home.
That helps with recovery.
That helps with recovery, exactly. We want to always be thinking about being active, of course. And so that's what today's about. So we're going to start off with...
Who are we?
Oh, yeah. So who are you?
I'm Jane Esselstyn, married to Brian Hart.
And I'm Cryle Esselstyn Hart. I'm their eldest daughter.
All right. And so we thought we'd share some of our favorite on-the-go, fuel for the long haul, quick recipes. And these recipes come from where, Jane? Most of them?
Cryle's Head.
Mine's from my head.
The first one's Cryle's Head, which is so cool. It's how she starts her day and how we thus start our days. And the rest of them are coming from mostly the Engine 2 cookbook. We're doing a great dressing that has really important components for the long haul and recovery. We're doing a complex, I hate to call it even a salad, it's more like a quinoa superfood fuel up mix. And if we have time, we're going to maybe sneak in some scones.
Yeah.
At the end. And those all come from this book. So we'll say the name, page number when we get there.
All right, so Cryle's going to start us off with this amazing recipe that she's developed on her own that has to do with just, it's essentially creating like a breakfast cookie. But go ahead, Cryle.
Yeah, so I've seen versions of this online, and I've heard friends who have made similar recipes to this too, but what I'm going to make for you guys today is kind of just, I like to call them cookies because it also makes me think of dessert. So I'll make them in the evening for dessert, and I'll also make them in the morning for breakfast. It's kind of an oatmeal cookie, like a baked oatmeal kind of. I just make them into cookie shapes. You can make them flat in a pan and cut them like bars, whatever you want. But really all you need is just 3 ingredients and then whatever toppings you want. So to start off, you have 2 bananas, brown spotted bananas. Make sure they're not too firm because you want them to be squishy and full of
And we all have
sugar.
those bananas taking up our kitchens that you think, oh, I should throw this out.
Yeah. And well, we love, whenever we get leopard spotted bananas like that, we if we don't use them, we save them because it means that their sweetness is coming. Go ahead.
Yeah, the sweetness is coming. That's what I was going to say. So I've already mashed 1 banana, but I'm going to take the second one, throw it in here, and I'm just going to mash it with my fork. It's kind of a workout just mashing it by itself. So this is my long haul. But you just kind of want it to become almost like an applesauce-y texture. So it just kind of makes what else we add to it stick together. The main ingredients are oats, bananas, and peanut butter, and that's it. That's what I'm going to add, and then I'm going to add some fun toppings that we like in our house, but truly you can add whatever you want to make it a breakfast type cookie or to make it more of a dessert if you're making it in the evening.
And these are great for long runs. Like I'll throw some in a bag and take them with me on a long run for a couple hours or something, and they're great. They're great. It's almost like an energy bar.
Yeah, I mean, it's truly just a simplified energy bar or cookie or whatever term you want to use.
So you've got two bananas?
2 bananas, and they're like medium size. Ooh, you can really use it at any size you want, but this is, you can kind of see this texture. It's just got little chunks, a few chunks, but it's pretty applesauce-y. I think it's a good texture. So after I've mashed that up and made sure the chunks are squished down, I add the next 2 main ingredients. One is about a cup of oats, whole oats. You can do
Just raw. It's not instant.
No, you mean
You have to be rolled.
Yeah, oats.
It was so funny. We were asking Carol how much she was putting in. She's like, I don't know. I just do like this twice. And so we measured that twice, and it was like a cup plus. So we have a little bit of a plus cup if needed.
If needed, yeah. I'm not quite sure. I'm not a measurer. Oops. And then I don't like using measuring tools with peanut butter because it's so sticky. So it's about half a cup of peanut butter, but I'm truly going to eyeball if you want to help eyeball. I'm just going to pour some...
Yeah, that's probably
half a cup.
Yeah.
Okay.
A heaping half, I think.
Heaping half a cup.
That big chunk made it a heap.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure. Okay, perfect. See, I don't have to clean any tools now.
I love having no laundry, no kitchen cleaning.
And so, like, that is it. This is the basis of it all, or the base of it all. But I'm going to add, we like to add blueberries because they're great for the long haul for honestly anything.
There's tons of antioxidants.
They're superfoods.
Yeah, it's a superfood.
Lots of fiber. It has vitamin C in it, which helps mobilize iron in your blood to keep you going with your...
We're just going
to... there you go.
So how many was that? Like a half a cup?
Yeah, that was probably half a cup.
Heap and half a cup?
Yeah, heap and half a cup.
And then I'm going to add, because I want it right now and it's kind of evening time, I'm going to add some chocolate chips.
Now talk about what kind they are.
Yeah, so these are Enjoy Life semi-sweet.
Yep.
They're mini. We like the little mini ones.
Yeah, but they're great. My mom always gets them, so I trust them. That's probably, I'm just going to add, that was like a quarter cup. And then I like to add flaxseed because flaxseed's great for you. It's also for the long haul. I will do a sprinkle. It's probably, call that a
Get your
teaspoon.
omega-3s, right?
Teaspoon.
Omega-3s are wonderful because they're anti-inflammatory.
Then I'm going to add some chia seeds because they're also for the long haul. And they're also omega-3s.
And so they're also anti-inflammatory, which helps with the recovery.
Probably also a teaspoon. And then...
Amla?
Oh yeah, amla powder. Anne has gotten us all on amla powder. It's this, I mean, can you explain what it is, really?
It's actually Indian gooseberries dried into powder, and it is sort of the new, I wouldn't say superfood, I'd call it a wonder food or something, because it is astounding with its anti-inflammatory properties. It's like, it's the queen of it all. I mean, she rules the roost here when it comes to that. It has a strong flavor, so we don't add a ton.
Yeah, that was like not even a quarter teaspoon.
You add a little more? I usually add like a teeny bit more of that.
Okay.
It's your jam. It's your recipe.
That was about a quarter teaspoon. It smells kind of like litter box.
Litter box. Smells kind of grainy, almost like.
It smells like hay made into like a really natural food, kind of like fruit roll up. Like, get the fruit roll up in there. You got it?
Anyway, I like cinnamon, so I'm going to add some cinnamon. Like, truly, this is just because I enjoy these flavors and textures and.
Remember, and what's so amazing is no flour, right?
Oh yeah, no flour. I also like to add like dried cherries or raisins or cranberries, but don't have any by me today. But those are also wonderful additions. But now I'm just mixing it all up. So again, it's just oats, bananas, and peanut butter, and then you can add nuts, seeds, berries, chocolate chips, cinnamon, almond powder, cat litter, whatever you want.
This has so many components of things you want to have a day. So whenever Carol makes this in the morning, I hear her doing something, making something, and I hear the oven go on. So I'm like, is she making cookies? So for a while I was like, gosh, she makes cookies for herself in the morning. And I realized she's just not putting her oatmeal in a pot and making it. She's putting it on a pan and baking it. And she would put them all out. She'd make them, and then she'd take a few and go to work. And then Brian and I would go by this throughout the day, and by the end of like noon, we would have eaten the whole tray of these oatmeal breakfast Cryle start of the day cookies.
This is just like you said, it's just oatmeal, just not in
a pot
and boiled or like with water. So now I'm going to take this and I'm just going to scoop it up into
a spoon,
cookie size. Oh yeah, a spoon might be easier. Thank you. But like. They're so simple. That takes.
Can I try it raw?
Sure.
Sure,
a wee bite.
It takes not that. The
Oh
hardest part is just mashing the bananas.
That's really good raw.
I mean, it's probably tastes like just oatmeal raw. I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah, I could eat that raw.
Totally.
So it's a safe raw cookie dough, which everyone loves.
Raw dough, babe.
The oven is at 400, just so you know. And we're going to bake these for about 14 minutes is what I usually do. That was a terrible
Looks
scoop.
like a really small one.
Yeah. And
But I want to. Can I review all the amazing stuff that's in there?
yeah, all the long haul foods.
Well, oats, and they're rolled oats, so they're going to take a long time to break down. And she's got some bananas in there, and they're not broken up, steel blades into fluff. They still have some of their fiber intact, and you really want to have as much fiber that's still intact because you have, the sugar is suspended inside the fiber and the water. So that's a wonderful thing to have in there. And then the peanut butter adds a little bit of fat for those active days, driving for 8 hours or whatever you're doing, to keep you going a little longer. And I love the addition of all the things she chose to put in there. The little chocolate chips gives it a little thing, but they're tiny and they don't get too many. The blueberries have this great burst of all their goodness, along with a ton of fiber and the vitamin C. The amla powder, the flaxseed meal, and the chia.
Yep.
You got everything. These are
Oh,
so usually it makes
so close to a dozen.
I mean it kind of it really just depends on how many oats or how big your bananas are.
6.5, 11.
So if you have these around, this is a great thing. If you're in a hurry in the morning and you've made them the night before, just grab 2 or 3 and run out the door. It's like a bowl of oatmeal in your hand.
It usually makes between 9. It makes about 9 to 12.
Depending how large.
I've
going in the oven?
Yeah, so in the oven at 400 for 14 minutes. And then
Awesome.
I'll see you after that.
All right.
Okay, well, now that Kryle's done with that, we're going to clean up some of her stuff. And
I'm gonna pause.
as they're clearing the deck, I'm going to start with the next thing, which is a dressing that we're going to have for the sort of, I hate to call it the quinoa salad, but it's quinoa and stuff. So wait, can you see me over here okay?
So the next thing we're making, just to give you a little bit of background, is don't ever underestimate the power of the pita. Pita bread is for many years when Ann Esselstyn was making dinner for Dr. Esselstyn to go to work, she would often take a piece of pita bread and just take whatever they had for dinner last night. It could be lasagna, it could be pasta, it could be beans and rice.
Shepherd's pie.
Shepherd's pie. She would just dump it in a pita, wrap it up, and send it to him to work the next day. And he was doing general surgery, and he'd have long days of general surgery on his feet. But in between surgeries, he could run to his office and wolf down a half a pita that was stuffed full of whatever they had had for dinner last night. So
even like salad stuffed in there sometimes.
So what we're making right now is this amazing power pita that's awesome for fueling yourself out on an active day, or maybe you're going for a hike, or maybe you're going to the beach, whatever it is. Driving.
Okay.
Jane's making the sauce right now that will go on the salad. So go ahead and make the dressing.
As we stated earlier, it's on page 100 of the Engine 2 cookbook, and it's called Ginger, Walnut, and Miso Dressing. So we have walnuts in here. And
How many walnuts?
We have, I'm doubling it. So it's about around a cup. And then garlic. We have rice vinegar, which I believe is this one. In it goes. Rice vinegar's got such a good
How much?
acid. Again, doubling it, so around. Actually, thank you for saying that. We need to double that.
Half a cup.
Can you get me another thing of rice vinegar?
Yep.
And then it's got some miso, and miso is about 2 tablespoons. So this is a quarter cup of miso. It's coming out. Oh, there it goes. And we're also going to add some maple syrup. And I'm doubling everything, so I'm trying to just double in my head while I say this. And ginger.
Here.
Ginger. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Ginger. I know this looks like nothing, but this is something that I'm going to mention for the long haul for lots of different ways. This does wonderful things for your endothelial cells, and that lines all the arteries and all your vessels to keep you going, running, moving. And one of our very good friends, Dr. Aaron Spitz, wrote a book called, it was really subtly named, The Penis Book. And he said, when he's interviewed, and people say, what's the best thing that men could eat for their bodies? He's like, ginger. So we're putting ginger in here for whatever kind of long haul you have ahead.
Special kind of long haul.
So we have it all minced up in here. Ginger, and then 2 teaspoons of tamari, which times 4 is actually equal to close to a quarter cup. Just a little bit. No, it's. I'm doing all kinds of mental math here. This is 3 tablespoons, and then 3 teaspoons, and then that's 1. Okay. So the reason I chose this one, and then we have water. We add about 2 to 4 tablespoons of water. I'm gonna add a little bit now, and we may add more later when we want to work on the consistency. The reason I chose this one is because it has all these things. I believe you can hear me with my microphone when this is on. The walnuts have omega-3s. They're one of the better ratios of omega-6 to omega-3 ratio. Again, anti-inflammatory. We've got garlic, which is a great antibiotic. The rice vinegar, awesome acid to get you going. Vinegar tends to help your endothelial cells really perform at their best. Miso has a nice sort of salty umami depth to it, which helps with electrolytes. And maple syrup, a little kick of energy. Ginger, as we talked about. And the tamari, again, a little help with some electrolytes. And then the water. Do you think this is a good texture, Bri, for
a dressing?
What do you think?
Yeah, it looks like it. Can we taste it?
Yeah, you can taste it. I'm gonna give it. I felt like it could do a little bit more of the breaking down of all the walnuts and the ginger. All right, check it out. Is that good?
Yeah. It's great. That miso is intense.
Is it too much?
No, it's good. I like it.
Okay.
Because once it's on,
Yeah,
no one eats dressing by the tablespoon.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so now right here, we're going to pull out all the components of this. I'm going to clear my deck a little bit, and you can start pulling all that stuff over here, Brian.
Yep.
And one of the things I want to talk about is what is included in this. Or the page. I should do the page number. The page that we're going to be on. The page we're going to be on, if you're following along in the Engine 2 cookbook, is page 139. And it is called Smoky Walnut and Quinoa Salad. Now,
what we're doing is we're making something to stuff in the pita.
Yeah.
And the stuff we're stuffing in the pita happens to be chock full of incredible amount of antioxidants, protein, carbohydrates, a little bit of fat.
You know, many cultures don't refer to quinoa like we do as sort of a whole grain. They call it a protein. One culture, I shouldn't even say it like that, but I know somebody calls it just like the magic food. Like it isn't even a this or a that. It's everything. It's sort of this complete thing.
All right, so the first thing you do is basically take 2 cups of cooked quinoa.
Right.
And just dump it into a bowl. We like the dark quinoa. Remember, we always want to try to get some different colors into your life, whether it's, there's white quinoa, there's red quinoa. This one happens to be, is this red or brown?
That's red.
It's red quinoa.
It's sort of brown. There's tricolored.
Yeah.
Okay, in this, I'm going to have you guys do a little improv with me. So what I did, the smoky walnuts, I thought we were going to take a little too long to do this in our presentation tonight. So I took a bowl of walnuts, and I added a couple spices here. Again, they're in the cookbook, but I'll let you know here. Maple syrup, little smoked paprika, cinnamon, chipotle powder, and then black pepper and a pinch of salt if you want. And just tossed it all together. And what happens is it's a light glaze of all this stuff. And I toasted them for...
So good.
And now they're good. Wait, will you try these? What do they taste like?
A little bit sweet, a little bit spicy.
A little heat, a little sweet, a little cha-cha-cha. In here now, Bri, can you work on adding, now that those are all toasted, in the salad we'll combine the quinoa and arugula.
How much arugula?
As much as you'd like.
Arugula is, one of Dr. Esselstyn's top 5. There's so much good endothelial, pro-endothelial nitrate?
It's just good behavior.
Yeah.
It promotes good behavior.
Nitrites.
Throw all 4 cups in there.
4 cups? That's a lot.
Well, it collapses, when we toss it around with the dressing especially. And this calls for arugula and or spinach mix. We're going to go all arugula because we're going long haul enduro.
Yep.
Okay. And after the arugula, let's put in the green onions, which I think are behind you, Brian. Green onions.
How many was this?
All those about 2 or 3. We had some big ones, and I thought they looked really good, so I think we did 3, right?
Those look kind of massive. Do you want to chop them up a
Okay,
little?
let's chop it all up. That's great. And then the next thing is going to be cherry tomatoes, and I like them whole. And how they pop, my mom just can't stand it. She likes to have them open and juicy. But for the long haul, we're going to leave them intact because they won't bleed as much into the pita. Do you want to throw intact?
No, I like them. I like them cut.
Oh.
But then actually, you know what? The pita might get soggy, so we'll leave it.
I'm glad you're with me. I was just saying I like them intact because it won't to the floor. So as many as you like.
Safe serve. What's
Uh,
the safe serve rule? How long can it be on the floor?
Yeah, 6 feet off the floor, 6 inches off the floor. Okay, so after the cherry tomatoes in there, we put some dried cranberries. Again, this is amping up our vitamin C.
How many?
Just as much as you want. And then we're going to have...
Half a cup-ish.
Okay, and then capers. And here we'll use...
What is a caper, Jane?
That's a caper to me. I don't know.
What is it?
It's like a little wee olive almost, but it's not, but olives are chock full of. It's juicy. Olives are chock full of a lot of like fat to make the olive oil. But capers, I was looking at the ingredients and it was like 0 calories, and I'm like, okay, that means there's nothing in it.
So how much is supposed to go in there?
We're gonna put in 2 tablespoons.
Okay, so that's a
tea.
that's a half a teaspoon. One.
You're gonna do. You're going to do 12 of those.
3,
so
4.
I don't know what a caper is, but it's a little tiny, it's a little bit, they're a little salty, and we're having this, do less if you don't want, or do more if you love them. I'm not a fan of olives. That's good.
Yeah.
And
we got our mixer. Are we ready to mix?
Oh, you have our mixers? Okay, great. I was going to ask you, I made some beets because they are so amazing for the long haul.
Beets are a power food for athletes. I don't know if you've ever read some of the research on beet powder, beet juice, in terms of its power to enhance endothelial function, right?
So do you mind if we add these to our mix?
I think they're going to soak the pita a little too much. That's my concern. Because I'm worried about the pita staying intact. You don't want it to get soggy. There's nothing worse than a soggy sandwich. Save them.
I would have put them in. Okay, ready for some dressing?
Yeah, but not too much. Don't overdo it.
Yeah, we're going to
You
make
and Anne like all that dressing.
We do love our dressing.
It's good. We try to mix it.
Okay. Because we want the arugula to collapse a bit, or get sort of weighed down a little bit, and we're going to add these amazing little numbers once I have a few more. And how about a hair more?
I don't know. It looks pretty good to me. Like, you don't want to overdo it and then make it so that, what happened to that tasting spoon?
Oh, here you go. You don't want to overdo it?
No, to me that's perfect.
Is it?
It's subtle. You don't want it to be overwhelming, and you want to keep the pita dry.
Oh, that is perfect. Hey, that's perfect.
Plus, the nuts are going to add a really great taste.
Yeah.
So these glazed nuts are incredible.
The smoky walnuts. I doubled the recipe because I knew that we would eat so much of them, so I'm not going to put them all in there.
Yeah, now it's amazing.
Oh, there's a couple more scallions.
So good.
That does look really good.
Now, the magic is the pita pocket. You got to look sometimes to find pita that's doesn't have oil.
No, I brought some hummus out, thinking that we could put hummus to keep it all in place, but it's kind of will keep itself in place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was, just so you could know sort of my mindset around it, I was thinking we'd have to put this in there to keep it all adhering on it, but this is kind of its own jam, and it's holding together well. Corral, you got 1 minute till your cookies are done. Perfect timing.
Now
Can
look
I
at-
make one? Can I
yeah.
make one?
Now look at that pita.
And
It needs a tomato at the top.
these are our
Can
plastic
you
bags
catch that,
we use
Wade?
for our kids for taking their sandwiches to school. So
Perfect.
I'm looking for a plastic bag. We would put it in a. Here's a previous pita bag.
I kind of want to take a bite.
Oh, go, go, go. I was going to pretend you're going for a long haul. Is that good? Mm-hmm. All right. So I think I want a bigger spoon, right? I think if I was trying one, I would put this in, and I'm going to put one little slice of beef in the middle to see if it gets soggy. But that's just like there's a little nitro boost in the middle. Look, Wade, can you see that? Just sort of put that like a little key turn in the middle.
I'm sure it would taste good. I'm just worried about all the liquid in there.
All right, Wade, Carl, who wants a bite? Twist your arm.
If I have to.
Yeah.
Doing the bite with the tomato.
Oh, yeah, yeah. There you go. Cryo! Cryo! It's yours.
Oh yeah. Okay, thank you.
Do you want some more tomatoes? That was kind of good with it, little burst.
Huh.
Wouldn't that be great to have
These
like
are amazing.
mid-run?
Yes. Oh,
All right, gotta get my breakfast cookies, oatmeal baked cookie things.
Here, there's room right here. I'm gonna keep making some of these
Hot.
pockets.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
go right here. You go right here.
Well, they're really warm,
It's all right. Let's just see them.
but you see, here they are. They look kind of like
Cooked oatmeal.
cooked oatmeal. There's nothing special to it. Ooh, it's sizzling.
It's
But,
sizzling on some of our arugula.
So you see the blueberries kind of have burst in some spots, but the chocolate's all melty, and it's baked oatmeal. That's really what it is.
It's so yummy.
But you can trick your mind into thinking it's dessert if you make it for a dessert or breakfast.
But they hold together, right?
Well, I mean, I
cool.
let them cool
They
for
have
a
to cool.
few moments, but
Carl, do you want to try a bite of our pita sandwich with the?
Sure.
You don't like tomatoes though, do you?
well, I do. I don't want to have a whole one in my
Yeah.
mouth on this bite.
All right, what's our last recipe?
Should we make scones?
Absolutely. You need scones to fuel you through a long haul.
Yeah. They All right, can I have that
This is
bowl?
almost refreshing.
It's refreshing.
Yeah, like it's light.
Oh, perfect. Okay, I'm gonna move this away from the camera.
Okay, let me.
And
I need to. I'll move.
I could make these things in my sleep.
I think she does.
And what's so great about them is it's oat flour. Can you get almond flour, please? Would you mind opening it, Brian? I think it's. That was a spicy, tomatoey bite. Oh my gosh. Pardon me. Woo! Woo! All right. So to make scones, it's equal amounts of oat flour and almond flour, and this is a caloric bomb. And we started making these for our kids when they were all just wee ones. They were swimming twice a day. They were trying to grow. They were trying to, make it through school. And they're plant-based. Plant slant kids growing up. And so I would just make these, and I put in anything that would make them want to eat them. Chocolate chips or twice as much chocolate chips, or what do you think? Maybe some extra chocolate chips to make them eat them. But now for us these days, I really kind of changed what I like to add to it. So we do the equal amounts of that. Is the maple syrup still out? Does anyone see the maple syrup on the deck?
Nope.
Can you grab it in the door then maybe? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Awesome. And then it's 1/3 of that. Okay, so it's a cup and a half of each of those I just did. So I'm gonna put a half a cup. This is a half cup. Rice vinegar. I thought it was water. Rice vinegar would have been a little tweak. So half a cup of maple syrup.
Oh.
Oh no, did you hear that little pat? Behind me, Crowd just dropped a cookie right on the floor. That was sort of funny.
I get to eat it though.
But
Yeah,
here,
safe, sir.
here are my cookies. These are kind of similar recipes. I ate these for breakfast too.
Yeah, but the almond flour here is a caloric bomb. I want to emphasize that. This is not for anything but really if you need a lot of calories. So then a little bit of vanilla, which is right here. I usually put in the capful or 2 caps full, or an overflowing cap full, however much I feel like. And in here, I'm going to put some dried cherries, and these are wonderful dried cherries. This is just cherries. It's hard to get dried cherries, dried cranberries without having all the added sugar or added oil, because they stick together. Oh dear. But these are just dried cherries, and they're kind of massive and just, they're tart, they're yummy. Love them. So some other things I want to add to this is some walnuts. Could open the walnut thing for me, Brian?
Yep.
Just chuck a handful in here.
Want me to crush them first?
Oh, sure. So we have some crushed walnuts, or we can go whole. Whatever lands is perfect. Sometimes it's fun to get a whole nut in the...
Let me do some more.
Yeah, another handful. So we have walnuts in here, which are great with omega-3, oats, which is anti-inflammatory, helps with blood sugar. And then we just add, can you put like a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of water? You just add a tiny bit of water because it makes everything come together. This is a really thick, so that was like probably a tablespoon and a half. This is a really thick, oh, chocolate chips. Where'd those chocolate chips go, eh? Again, you don't need to use them. You can use raisins or anything you want. Can you sprinkle a few in there? As much as ginger. We could put ginger in here. Oh my gosh. Do we have any? Candied ginger. Do we have any
Candied ginger would be nice. I don't think we have any.
I don't think we have any candied ginger. It's kind of a holiday thing. See, look, it looks like you need more water. You don't. It turns into a clump in no time. So here are the blah blah. Corral, is your tray available? Can I put these on a tray? So you can cook these. This is ready to go. I mean, I make these in, like, literally, we're like, hey, let's watch a show. I'm like, great, let me put some scones in. And they're in like 90 seconds flat because we make them so often. And they're so yummy. Corral just used this. But the scones also cook at 400. Our oven's at 400. So I'm just going to show you how we throw these onto this is a spoon. Throw these down. You can make them in little balls like this. You can do big scones. You can make about 8 big ones like this. I used to make that for our kids. Here, have a scone. They're actually called stone scones. Oh, they're in the back of this book. I don't know the page number. My hands are really gross. So I'm going to go with roughly between the two. These sort of bigger, because it's not so nice to have like a huge stone scone. Or you can take
247.
page 247. I'm just going to show you another way you can cook these, just because if you want to have a real scony look, you can also throw them down onto the. This is our Silplat, our silicone lining. You can, or just put them on parchment paper. No need to use a greased sheet that just adds unnecessary roughness to your body. But just shape it. I'm going to wet my fingertips so I can shape it a little more. Shape it till it's about a little less than a ½ inch thick. Kind of like these, these ones are about, I don't know, ½ inch. And then...
And that's a power pack of calories, right?
Do you have your bread knife, Brian?
No, but I can get it.
This is Brian's favorite kitchen tool.
Bread knife.
Bread knife. And you just... Oh, hot pan. Cut these into scones this way. And
Just
then
like in the old country.
the scones. Oh, right in the middle was a cherry. You see that?
Yeah.
It's like a little belly button, like. Okay, either way you can do that, and then you cook these for 12 minutes at 400.
Hot.
It's still hot. So in that can go, and here's what they look like. Can someone throw those in the oven for 13 or 12 minutes? So, but this is what they look like. I did this last night, so we'd have an example ready to go.
Yes.
They're nicely browned.
See, you can just plop it in your pocket.
Yeah, and they're like, the kids call them scones. Like, Mommy, can you make stones? And like, they're scones. Not so, we call them stone scones. But anyway, they are good for the long haul. They can travel well. So all together, let's see what we have, you guys. Crow, where's
So we've got
where's your
Crowell's
stuff?
breakfast cookies.
Oh,
Hey, some of them are just turned upside down. But baked oatmeal cookies.
baked oatmeal cookies with blueberries, chocolate chips, almond powder, chia, and flax. Oh, I meant to put chia and flax. I love it when I mess up because it's such a teachable moment. In the scones, it's so easy to put flax, so easy to put almond powder because it just bakes in there and you get it in your body.
You don't taste anything.
I was kind of rushing at the end.
Then we've got our power pitas.
With or without a little belly button of beet.
Got our power pitas, which are awesome.
And our stone scones, which we have filled with flaxseed, amla, and walnuts, and cherries, and chocolate chips, just all kinds of yummy stuff. This is stuff that keeps us going for the long haul. And we are actually, it's time for dinner. So we're going to long haul ourselves right to our kitchen table and have some dinner because we have an awesome display.
Cookies for dinner.
All right, be sure to, if you don't mind, subscribe to the Esselstyn Foundation YouTube channel.
Yeah, I mean, down below, not
and click it if you like it, and we'll continue to push these out for free. So thanks very much for your time, and we'll see you around.
Have a great long haul.